This segment of DelmarvaLife is sponsored by the law offices of Tunnell and Raysor.
Okay, listen, I want you to picture this. It might not be too hard. You're a loving grandparent. You would do anything for your grandkids. You're there for all their big moments in life. You take them out for ice cream, give them rides all the time. You teach them how to spell. You teach them how to read, and you read to them.
Yes, but then suddenly it takes a drastic turn. Your grandchild's parents get a divorce, and now the custodial parent no longer wants you in the child's life. DelmarvaLife's James McDonald visited the offices of Tunnell and Raysor to learn what you need to qualify for a visitation and why seeking out an attorney is so crucial.
When family law attorney Rebecca Anderson moved to Delmarva 12 years ago, she served as a prosecutor working on child abuse and sexual assault cases.
That's when I became passionate about helping children and victims in our society. And after about 11 years there, I decided it was time to make a change. There was an opportunity at Tunnell and Raysor that I wanted to at least try out. I'm still able to help families, still able to help children, and I think that's probably my favorite part of being involved in the law, especially in this area.
Rebecca is proud of the progress that she's made for the children and families on Delmarva. She continues to fight for grandparent visitation rights.
But it can really cover any third party that has a significant involvement in a child's life. So basically, people come to us, they've had an argument or they're estranged from their children, say, but they really want to get to know or have a relationship with their grandchildren.
Many folks think they have no options because parents of the children say they aren't allowed to see them.
That's when we file what's called a third-party visitation petition in family court. That is to convince the court that the third party, whether it's a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, a sister, any relative pretty much, and sometimes even non-relatives, have the ability to request the court for reasonable visitation with the child.
They are usually resolved in court-ordered mediation.
If they're not, there is a chance of a hearing, but generally once the grandparent or the third party starts the process and starts to file something and gets an attorney involved, that's when we can start negotiating, a weekend visit or an overnight visit at some point.
Rebecca says that in order to qualify for a visitation, you need to have a prior substantial relationship with the child.
If you are a grandparent that hasn't talked to that child in 10 years or has never met that child, likely you're not going to be successful. But if you are someone that has had a significant relationship, seeing them every holiday, sending them birthday presents, talking over the phone, and then all of a sudden another argument happens with the parents of that child, or something changes, something becomes estranged, one of the parents dies and doesn't agree for you to see the child, I want parties to know that as long as you have that prior substantial relationship, that's when you have the right to file.
Rebecca says family court is all about the best interests of the child.
You need to make sure that the child is going to be safe, loved, whatever's best for their emotional well-being, their physical well-being, and their mental well-being. If you are going to go to that child and all of a sudden start talking down on their parents or something like that, the court is not going to go for that. You need to have a positive impact on that child's life and do nothing to affect that child's relationship with other people.
Rebecca says the court will determine how often these visits are, typically on how agreeable the parents are.
If eventually the parents say, you know what, I'm good with weekend visits, the court's going to go with what the parties say. There's no real general rule. It all depends on how much of an influence or how much impact you've had on that child's life so far.
Age is also a big factor.
If the child is a baby, you might have an hour here or there that would have to be a visit at the parent's house. Usually the court's not going to order that you're allowed to take the child, to take a small baby. But if the child is 10, 11, 12, the court might look at all-day visits, dinner visits, overnight visits, eventually getting to the point where there might be a whole weekend visit or a week in the summer.
When it comes to mediation, Rebecca says it's important to seek out an attorney who's familiar with the court process by your side.
You're going to want someone familiar with the best interest factors and the case law, and you're definitely going to want an attorney present with you at a hearing. That's when you're going to have to be held to all the standards of trial and evidence and discovery. You're going to need to present witnesses, evidence, call people to testify on your behalf, and the average person has never done that before. So for you to have an attorney speaking on behalf of you and being your voice in court, that's something that a judge will like, so they don't have to deal with someone who doesn't know what they're doing. Having an attorney helps you protect your rights, but also explaining to the other side, hey, this is why it's in the child's best interest.
Tunnell and Raysor is proud to continue helping families and children, one case at a time.
So if you're interested in setting up a consultation, simply call Tunnell and Raysor's office. Whether you need help filing out forms or just need some clarity and support, Rebecca is happy to clear things up. We will have more information on our website. Just click on what's happening today. Grandparents are so important.
We're both grandparents, and you never think about something like this coming up.
No, but it does happen in today's world. You know, my parents were just such a big influence on my kids' lives, and they helped make them who they are today.
Grandparents are important. There you go.
Absolutely.